Hello, my dear students. Today I want to tell you a special story. This story is about me. Yes, it's my own story. The story of how I learned English fast. I was not good at English before. I was just like you. I didn't know how to speak. I didn't understand English movies or podcasts. I didn't know many English words. I was scared to talk in English because I thought I would make mistakes. I thought people would laugh at me. But deep inside, I had a big dream. I wanted to learn English fast. I wanted to speak fluently. I wanted to understand English songs, talk to people from other countries, and feel confident when I speak. I remember one day very clearly. I was sitting in my room, and I felt very sad. I watched a video in English, but I didn't understand it. I could only catch a few words. I asked myself, why is English so hard for me? But then, I made a decision. I said to myself, enough. I want to change. I want to learn English fast. I will do it, no matter what. That moment changed everything for me. It was the first step on my journey. I knew I had to start from somewhere. I didn't have a teacher. I didn't go to an English school. I didn't have friends who spoke English. I had only one thing, my desire. I really wanted to learn. So I decided to become my own teacher. I promised myself to practice English every day, even if it was only 15 minutes. I told myself, don't wait for the perfect time, start now. And that's how my journey began. I was not perfect. I was slow. But I didn't stop. Every day, I made a little progress. I learned something new. I made mistakes, but I kept going. I said to myself again and again, I can do this. I can learn English fast. And now, I want to share this journey with you, step by step, so that you can also learn English fast like I did. So, my dear students, are you ready to hear the next part of my story? In the next part, I will tell you what I did first and how it helped me learn English quickly, even when I had no English-speaking partner. Stay with me. After I made the decision to learn English fast, I asked myself, what is the first thing I should do? I didn't have a teacher. I didn't go to English class. But I knew one thing. If I wanted to improve, I had to practice every single day. Not once a week. Not only when I felt like it. Every single day. Even on the days when I was tired or busy, I had to give some time to English. So I made a small plan. It was a simple plan. I didn't try to do too much. I told myself, just 30 minutes every day. That's enough for now. I started waking up early or staying up late just to find 30 minutes for English. I called this time my English time. It became a special time for me, a time to focus, learn, and grow. In the beginning, I didn't understand much. I started with the basics. I listened to slow English videos on YouTube. I searched for English stories made for beginners. I watched and listened carefully. I didn't understand every word, but I didn't stop. I watched one video many times. First, I listened. Then, I repeated the sentences. I said them out loud. Sometimes I stood in front of the mirror and spoke like I was talking to a friend. I felt a little shy, but I kept going. I also began reading short English stories, just a few lines every day. If I didn't understand a word, I wrote it in my notebook. I looked it up later. Then I wrote simple sentences using that word. For example, if I learned the word happy, I wrote, I am happy today. She is a happy girl. I made my own small English world. I didn't wait for someone to teach me. I taught myself. Sometimes I listened to English songs with subtitles. I sang along even if I didn't sound perfect. I tried to feel the rhythm of the language. I started enjoying English. It was not just a subject. It became a part of my life. English was with me in the morning, in the evening, and even before I went to bed. I watched English videos before sleeping, and I listened to English podcasts while walking. Every day I did something. Some days I listened, some days I read, some days I spoke, some days I wrote. But I never missed a day. I was not perfect, but I was consistent. That is the secret. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to practice daily. Slowly, I started to see the change. I could understand more words. I could speak small sentences. I could ask and answer basic questions. I felt happy. I felt proud. My small daily practice was working. I said to myself, yes, this is the way. If I keep doing this, I will speak English fluently one day. That was my first step. Simple, daily practice. It was not magic. It was not easy. But it worked. After I made daily practice a habit, I started to feel more comfortable with English. I could understand more words. I could read simple stories. I could listen to beginner podcasts and catch the meaning. But I still had one big problem. I couldn't speak English well. Every time I tried to speak, I forgot the words. I felt nervous. I didn't know if my grammar was correct. And I had no one to practice with. Nobody around me spoke English. My family, my friends, my neighbors, they all spoke a different language. So I asked myself, how can I speak English if there is no one to talk to? But then I remembered something. I can talk to myself. Yes, it may sound strange, but it's very powerful. So I started speaking English with myself every day. In the morning, I looked in the mirror and said, "Good morning. How are you today?" I answered, "I'm fine. I feel happy. I want to learn English today." These were simple sentences, but they helped me start my speaking journey. I used English to talk about my daily life. For example, I said, "Now I am brushing my teeth. I am eating breakfast. I am going to the market. I am reading an English story." These small sentences became my practice. I didn't care if I made mistakes. I just kept speaking. Sometimes I asked myself questions like, "What did you do today? What do you like to eat? What is your favorite color?" And then I answered them out loud in English. When I was alone in my room, I pretended I was talking to a friend. I created small conversations in English. I said, "Hi, what's your name?" "My name is Liam. Nice to meet you." "Where are you from?" "I am from Canada." This practice helped me become more confident. I stopped being afraid of speaking. I started enjoying it. I didn't worry about mistakes because I knew this was just practice, and practice is never perfect. I told myself, every time you speak, you get better. Later, I recorded my voice. I spoke for 2 to 3 minutes on my phone. Then I listened to it. At first, it was funny. I laughed at my voice, but then I thought, wow, I can really speak English. I saw my own progress. Slowly, I started speaking longer sentences. I added more details. I described my day, my dreams, my plans, my favorite things, all in English. Sometimes I also used online tools like Google Translate or English-speaking apps to help me check pronunciation. I even watched English speaking practice videos and repeated after the speaker. I copied the way they talked, the way they moved their mouth, and how they used expressions. I felt like I was learning from real English speakers, even though I was sitting alone in my room. Speaking every day made a big difference. My mouth got used to English. My brain started thinking in English. I didn't need to translate from my native language. I could speak more naturally. I was not fast, but I was clear. I was not perfect, but I was confident. That was enough. So, my dear students, if you want to learn English fast, you must speak every day. Don't wait for a perfect speaking partner. Be your own partner. Talk to yourself. Talk to your mirror. Talk to your phone. But speak. Speak every day. That's how I did it. And that's how you can do it too. After I started speaking English every day, I felt more confident. But I still had a big problem. My vocabulary was small, and my grammar was weak. I wanted to speak better. I wanted to use more words. I wanted to make correct sentences. So I asked myself again, how can I learn more English words and grammar rules in a simple and fast way? I didn't want to buy expensive books. I didn't want to join any paid course. I wanted to use free and easy tools. So I started looking for simple ways to learn. And slowly, I found many tools that helped me learn vocabulary and grammar, even when I was alone. The first tool I used was my notebook. Yes, a small English notebook. I started writing 5 new words every day. Only 5, not too many. I found new words from videos, songs, stories, or even from subtitles. I wrote the new word, its meaning in my language, and a simple sentence with that word. For example, word, fast, meaning quick. Sentence, I run fast every morning. I read the words many times during the day, in the morning, in the afternoon, and before going to bed. I even spoke the words out loud. I said, fast. I run fast. My friend is a fast reader. Repeating helped me remember the words for a long time. The second tool I used was Google Translate. I didn't use it just to translate words. I used it to check pronunciation. When I typed a word, it also spoke the word. I clicked the speaker button and listened. Then I copied the pronunciation. I said the word again and again until I could say it like the speaker. Sometimes I wrote full sentences and listened to how they sounded. It was like having a small teacher in my pocket. The third tool I used was YouTube. I searched for English Grammar for Beginners, Basic English Conversation, English Speaking Practice, and Easy English Stories. I watched videos slowly with subtitles on. I paused and repeated what the speaker said. I took notes. If the teacher said, "Present simple is for daily actions," I wrote it in my notebook. I also wrote 2 or 3 example sentences. I made grammar my friend, not something to fear. One channel I followed had videos like, how to use do and does, what is the difference between say and tell, simple past tense with examples. These small videos taught me big lessons. I didn't watch too many at once, just 1 video a day. I watched it again and again. I wanted to understand everything. I wanted to feel the meaning, not just memorize it. The fourth tool I used was free English learning apps. Some apps had word games, some had grammar quizzes, some had listening practice. I didn't spend hours on them, just 10 or 15 minutes a day. But I used them every day. I played word games like matching words with pictures. I filled in the blanks in grammar sentences. I answered questions like, what is the past of go? Choose the correct word. He went to school. These small exercises helped me build strong English muscles in my brain. I felt more ready to speak and write. I made fewer mistakes. I became faster in choosing the correct words. The fifth tool I used was my phone's voice recorder. I made short English podcasts for myself. Every day I chose a topic, like my day, my family, or my favorite food, and I spoke for 2 or 3 minutes. I used the new words I learned. I tried to use correct grammar. Then I listened to my recording. Sometimes I found mistakes. Sometimes I was surprised at how much I improved. The sixth tool I used was simple English books and stories. I downloaded free PDFs from the internet. I searched for English stories for beginners and easy English reading practice. I read one story every day. If I didn't understand a word, I underlined it and looked it up later. I also read the stories out loud. I wanted to train my mouth, my tongue, and my brain to feel the flow of English. I became stronger with each story. All these tools helped me a lot. They were free. They were easy. They were simple, but I used them every day. That's the most important thing. It's not about having the best tools. It's about using the tools you have, again and again. So, my dear students, you don't need expensive courses or native speaking partners. You need a notebook, a phone, YouTube, some free apps, and your strong desire to learn. That's all. You can learn vocabulary and grammar in a fun way, just like I did. After I learned how to practice English every day, how to speak more often, and how to use free tools for learning grammar and vocabulary, I was feeling much better. I could speak more fluently. I could understand simple videos and podcasts. But there was still one problem. Every time I wanted to speak in English, I first thought in my own language. Then I tried to translate my thoughts into English. It made me slow. Sometimes I got confused. Sometimes I made mistakes or forgot words. I realized that this habit of translating in my head was stopping me from improving faster. So I told myself, I must start thinking in English. That was my next step. I wanted my brain to work directly in English. So I began with something very simple. Every day, I looked at the things around me and said their names in English. When I saw a table, I said, table. When I saw a window, I said, window. When I looked at my phone, I said, phone. I was not speaking to anyone. I was just talking to myself or thinking quietly in English. Later, I started making short sentences. I said, this is my phone. The window is open. The table is brown. I did this many times every day. I was training my brain to understand the world in English. It became a habit. Soon, I made this a little game. I called it my English mind game. Wherever I went, I looked at things and described them in English, not out loud, just in my head. For example, if I saw a cup, I said, this is a white cup. It is on the table. I drink tea in this cup. If I saw a car on the street, I said, that car is red. It is moving fast. A man is driving it. These were small, simple sentences, but they helped a lot. They helped me stop thinking in my native language. They helped me start thinking in English, step by step, day by day. I also used this method during my daily life. When I was walking to the shop, I said in my head, I am walking to the shop. I want to buy bread. The sun is shining. A dog is barking. When I was cooking food, I said, I am boiling water. I am cutting onions. I will make rice today. Before going to bed, I said, today was a good day. I studied English. I learned 5 new words. I feel proud. These small thoughts made a big change. I was not translating anymore. I was just thinking in English, using easy words and short sentences. After some time, I also started writing down my thoughts in a notebook. I didn't write long essays. I just wrote 3 to 5 lines every night. For example, today I studied English for 30 minutes. I listened to a podcast. I practiced 10 new words. I feel happy. This small writing practice helped me build confidence. It helped me remember more vocabulary. And most of all, it helped me continue thinking in English even when I was not speaking. One more thing I did was describe pictures in English. I looked at a photo, maybe a family eating dinner or a person walking in the park. I tried to describe what I saw. For example, a family is sitting at the table. They are eating together. The mother is smiling. The food looks delicious. This exercise was simple, but it helped me practice vocabulary, sentence structure, and creative thinking, all in English. I also made a rule. When it's English time, I use only English. When I watched videos, I used English subtitles, not subtitles in my own language. When I read a story, I chose easy English stories and didn't use translation. I wanted my brain to learn English naturally, like a baby learns to speak. At first, it was difficult, but after a few weeks, I saw progress. I started to understand more without translating. My brain started working faster. It started working in English. And one amazing thing happened. One night, I had a dream. In English. I was speaking with someone in my dream. When I woke up, I felt surprised and happy. I thought, wow, my brain is really learning. Now I am thinking in English, even when I sleep. That moment gave me a lot of motivation to keep going. So if you are learning English, my advice is simple. Train your brain to think in English. Don't wait until you are fluent. Don't worry about mistakes. Just start with small things. Name objects. Make short sentences. Talk to yourself. Write your thoughts. Use your imagination. Play the English mind game. It worked for me, and I believe it will work for you too. Now, when I look back at my English journey, I feel proud. I started from zero. I was afraid. I didn't know how to speak. I didn't understand anything. But I didn't give up. I took one small step each day. I made mistakes, yes. I was slow, yes. But I kept going. Day by day, I improved. I started with simple words and short sentences. Then I learned grammar. I listened to podcasts. I read stories. I spoke to myself. I watched English videos. I wrote in a notebook. I trained my brain to think in English. I stayed strong, and now I can say, I speak English. Maybe not perfectly, but clearly, with confidence. I learned something very important on this journey. Learning English is not only about grammar or vocabulary, it's about habits, motivation, and belief. If you want to learn fast, you must be active. Don't just wait for someone to teach you. Become your own teacher. Make English part of your life. Use your phone to learn. Use your free time to practice. Even 10 minutes a day can change your life. You don't need money. You need time, focus, and patience. I had no English partner, but I still practiced speaking. I had no English school, but I still studied every day. I created my own English world. I also learned to love my mistakes. At the beginning, I was afraid of speaking. I didn't want to sound wrong. I didn't want people to laugh. But then I understood. Mistakes are a gift. Every mistake teaches you something. Every mistake helps you grow. When a baby learns to walk, it falls many times. But the baby doesn't stop. It stands up and tries again. We must do the same. If you speak and make a mistake, it's okay. You are learning. You are brave. You are strong. So, my friend, if you are listening to this story, remember this. You can learn English too. You don't need to be perfect. You only need to start. Start today. Start small. Read one English page. Listen to 5 minutes of English audio. Learn 3 new words. Speak to yourself. Write your daily routine. Think in English. Make a simple plan and follow it every day. Some days will be hard. You will feel tired. You will feel slow. But don't stop. Don't give up. Keep going. Your future self will thank you.